That's right, Jack. He's as stupid as you are. You were so busy worrying about each other, you never even saw me coming, did you? So how about you listen up? 'Cause I'm only gonna say this once. There's a new sheriff in town, boys. Y'all best get used to it.
What is up, YouTube? Live via satellite here, and today we are talking Kingdom Manga Chapter 527. Well, things just got real, didn't it? Like, I have no words. Like, the intro pretty much sums it up, guys, because I have no words to explain what I just witnessed today. Like, I'm speechless. I got nothing. I mean, when I take a look back to Chapter 484, when we first saw these guys, I had no idea. I had no idea that these guys were this ferocious. Like, what a trio this is. I mean, Bananji brings the force of the Iron Hammer, Shunsuiju comes through with the killer instinct, and Riboku, the mastermind, just brings it all together.
You heard of Phil Jackson?
Yeah.
He's like the gold standard, okay? Triangle, bitch. Study.
But all I can muster to say is this. Heki, I know we've had our differences in the past, but Yotanwa needs your help. So, I'm going to kindly ask if you could stop sweating in every panel, and please dig deep. Find within the Heki who once said that his glaive's edge was excellent that day. I need to see that Heki, and show us that you are indeed worthy of this general status. And all will be forgiven, like for the most part. But that is something that we will all have to hold out hope for, because this week's chapter begins with, you guessed it, Heki and his men profusely sweating over the strength of the mountain tribe. They notice that Yotanwa's army is able to push back the 90,000 strong Zhao army with just 50,000 men. They're stunned that they're able to do this without their 10,000 men as reinforcements. But Yotanwa lets Heki know that the enemy's strategy has been simple and straightforward to this point, and she thinks they may be up to something. So he needs to have his men ready at a moment's notice. No sooner does she say this than we get a small detachment of horsemen riding through, and Heki even thinks that these guys could be messengers. But to our and everybody else's surprise, it is Shunsuiju with gifts in tow. He is literally dragging mountain tribesmen behind him. And Heki wasn't too far off, because he's definitely here to deliver a message. So Shunsuiju comes in knowing that he cannot speak the mountain tribe's language, but also knowing that everyone knows how to play charades.
That song,
Sound of Music.
Tits, drinking, drunk with love.
First word.
And he comes out like 4 words. I will kill you. Like, this is where my jaw just hit the floor, man. It just dropped. I couldn't believe it. I'd never seen anyone enter the battlefield this way. This was so disrespectful, man. Like, I was looking like, y'all ain't gonna let him get away with that, are y'all? But I gotta commend him, because it was so badass. I mean, he's setting the tone right away, letting them know what's up, you know? And then if that wasn't enough, he just casually bounces like, let's go. And then he just carves a path right through the mountain tribe over to Kosenryu, who can't even believe how flashy the Supreme Commander Shunsuiju is. I mean, he doesn't appear to look like that type of guy. So he sends a unit out to greet him. So back over at Yotanwa's camp, they can't even believe what just happened. Heki's all like, what was that just now? Well, Heki, it's pretty simple. You guys just got owned. But Yotanwa is having none of that. She did not take this lightly. She has now burned Shunsuiju's face into her mind. And I don't think that's a good thing. So back over to Zhao's side, Shunsuiju comes in and he pretty much already has a plan. And his plan is a full-scale withdrawal of their entire army. And all the other commanders are wondering why. And he tells them because pretty much he doesn't want to defeat them there. Because he fears that if they beat the mountain tribe there, that the scattered remnants will interfere with Riboku's battles on the Shukai Plains. So he wants to move the battlefield and draw them deeper so that he can thoroughly exterminate them to the last man. But the interesting thing I pulled away from this conversation was Shunsuiju's biggest fear. It wasn't that they would lose. it was that they would let some of the mountain tribe escape. So I mean, from everything we've seen so far, we can tell that he's supremely confident in his abilities and his game plan. So he lets everybody know that they'll be falling back to the city of Ryoyu. And Ousen Ryu doesn't seem to like this very much. In fact, it seems like he knows what dwells in that city. And it also seems like he finally is catching on to what Shunsuiju is trying to do. And he lets him know he's exactly right. He plans to use the fangs of Ryoyu to tear the Queen's flesh apart. So on the Yotanwa side of things, they see that the Zhao are retreating, and Toge brings a point up that this seems kind of unnatural, and if they should even bother following him. But Yotanwa says it would be a bigger mess if they lost track of him, because then they could split their forces, circle around the Gaia. Heki brings up the point that it doesn't really matter what their intentions are, as long as they're pretty much going in the opposite direction. That's helping their cause towards starving out Gaia. Then Toge says that's exactly why he's bringing up the point that it's fishy, because why would they make their goal so easy? Yotanwa then says that there's only two possible reasons for their withdrawal. One, that the terrain ahead is more advantageous for the Zhao soldiers, or two, that they have powerful reinforcements waiting ahead. So right here shows that Yotanwa pretty much has a good eye for strategy. I mean, she knows that she's pretty much being lured into some sort of a trap. Her hands are kind of tied here because she can't afford to lose sight of the enemy. Because any real general knows losing sight of your enemy is a one-way ticket to Ordoville. But getting back on topic, Heki says that they'll find out soon enough. And as they march on, Toge notices that the terrain has changed slightly. And this is where things got kind of creepy, man. All of a sudden, you just see wolves on top of cliffs howling. And you're like, what is going on here? But back over to the Zhao, we get Ousen Ryu still not able to come to terms with the fact that Shunsuiju intends to use the city of Ryoyu. And another commander asks what Shunsuiju meant earlier about the fangs of Ryoyu. And Shunsuiju lets him know that the people who are marching with them now are not really the true troops from Ryoyu. They're just a bunch of soldiers gathered from various garrisons in the area. He lets them know that the real people of Ryoyu aren't even the same race as normal citizens of Zhao. Then we see Yotanwa surveying the situation, noticing people on cliffs, and bringing her army to a halt. Then Shunsuiju lets us know that the race of people are the Quan Rong people, and that they are basically the same people who once brought the mighty Zhao dynasty to its knees. And it's their descendants who now occupy the city. And these guys look like savages. And that was the chapter in a nutshell, guys. And this was an amazing chapter, guys. I really enjoyed it. And it looks like Yotanwa is finally gonna get a chance to shine here, guys. Like, she should definitely get a 1v1 in this arc. And right now, they're making it seem like Yotanwa is in a little bit of a bind. But at the same time, I kind of think that Ousen put Yotanwa in this situation because he probably knew about this mountain tribe inside of Ryoyu. And shout out to Shogun for pointing this out to me in the comments section today, because this was actually something that was brought up earlier in Kingdom, way back in chapter 20. And Heki pretty much says verbatim what Shunsuiju said today. And if Heki knew about him, I have to assume that Ousen knew about him. And even though that was ancient history, we still see them currently in action when Yan and Zhao were fighting. In that war, they were the famous poison dogs used by Gekishin. And being that Gekishin was originally from Zhao, it wouldn't be far-fetched to say that he brought them with him to Yan. And I think Ousen would definitely have intel on that battle. So basically, I really don't think it's a coincidence that Yotanwa was placed in this battlefield. And I don't know, guys, like, I really want to see Shunsuiju versus Yotanwa. But something makes me think that Baggio is going to try to get in the way of that battle. And I hope he doesn't, because I kind of feel like Shunsuiju is powerful enough that he could possibly kill him. And I hope not, because I love Baggio. But anyway, guys, let me know what you guys thought of the chapter in the comment section below. Leave a like if you liked the video. Feel free to share, comment, and subscribe. Peace out.